Hello and welcome to a special how-to video where I'm going to show you how to take EVA foam, which you can use to make quality pew-pews like this, and some masking tape, and turn it into sandbags for Trench Crusade or any other tabletop game. Okay, it's really simple. This is the third version that I've come up with. This one is the original. So that's the original one, but they're a bit square and a bit blocky. This was the next one, but again the creases weren't very good. So this is the third iteration. I'm going to show you how to make those. Very simple, you don't need a lot of tools. One step you could skip if you wanted to, or not. So, this is how we make them. It has the advantage of not being made out of air drying clay and not waiting a day for them to dry. This takes minutes to make. That included painting, which I'm not going to do today because it's a very simple wash with Agrax Earthshade or any brown wash that you wish to use, a dark one, and then it was dry brush with some Tyrant Skull, I think, or any light colour just to catch the highlights. Okay, the masking tape does the rest of the selling that it is a sandbag. Okay, so here's how you make them. These are made, we're using 10mm EVA floor mats. You get them in most hardware stores or shops in the UK these days, and then you need to cut a strip off with using a sharp blade. Scissors won't do the job for this point anyway. It needs to be about, I don't know, 6mm thick, not too wide, depending on how wide and big you want to make your sandbags. Okay, then with the sharp blade, I would have a normal hobby knife, but I'm in the middle of packing and moving, so all my stuff's in boxes now. So this is an extra special one. I've got half my gear missing, and then we're going to cut it about 6mm again. Doesn't have to be super straight because obviously sandbags aren't all a uniform shape once they're squashed together. So I'm going to cut through that. Mind your fingers. I think one more pass should do that. There we are. Put that out of the way. And bin the bottom bit because it's got the moulded checker plate bottom and we don't need that. So there's our wibbly wobbly shape. Then we're going to get a pair of scissors and just angle the top of the sandbag down to give it more of a natural sandbag shape. Again, just mind your fingers. It doesn't have to be perfect because that adds more to the selling of the sandbag when we're done. This idea came to me whilst I was watching Peachy Tips last week with his masking tape scarf and cape head wrap video, and as soon as he said it's like Hessian, it's like a light bulb went off in my head. I thought, ooh. So I legged it upstairs, and that's when I made them in about 10 minutes. Thanks to Mr. Peach, because I know he's wanting to see a how-to video. I thought I'd give him a name drop. I might need some followers, you never know. Only joking. So again, it's just totally random. It's a bit fiddly, especially if your scissors aren't very, very sharp like these ones. I've had some hammer back in the day. I'll just put my finger up and have the EVA foam. Anyway, there we go. So I end up like a random shape like that. Pretty simple so far. And now we come to making the sandbag shape, shall we say. So the end one, we'll just chop off at a slight angle, and then roughly about 1 centimetre on the top, on the flat part, and we'll just cut alternate angles. but not before he remembers stick it to some masking tape. Proper Blue Peter, this one, live and direct from Sonny Cleethorpes. So we'll stick that on about quarter of the way in, and then I'll use my knife or blade to chop that, because that half will then be the top of the sandbags. Okay? The reason why I forgot that part was I've only just added that into how to make them. That's the one side. All live, folks. Get that pressed down. Now then, so remember, centimetre gap roughly, and then just cut a diagonal shape, not all the way down to the bottom though. So just leaves like a groove. On the first one's just cut vertically down, and it didn't create a great shape then. And just repeat the process. Mind your fingers. Doesn't have to be. Gaps can be slightly bigger. It all adds to the effect. Now you do need a very sharp or new blade on this, otherwise it tears the foam. It won't slice through it. You can also, you don't have to do long strips, as I will show you in a minute. You can make very complex shapes to make sandbag walls, anything like that really. But today I was doing a strip because that's the easiest one to show you, and then you can just go wild with your imagination, making your own then for mere pence. And then get them on your trench Crusade boards, which everyone's building at the moment. Taking the whole head of it. So, doesn't take very long, but don't rush it since you have got a sharp blade in your hand. So kids, bit of grown up rope, yeah. See, actually caught the finger then. Really funny. At the end of that video. If you want more? Yeah, why not? Leave a comment below if you should do one more. So we're going to make that at the end, so we'll chamfer that end off, and there we go. That's the first part of making the sandbags. Now the next part you can skip. I did the first time, but if you use EVA foam, you will have one of these, a heat gun. A hairdryer does not get the foam hot enough. So what this will do, it will heat the foam up, which will seal the top so it contracts, which will make these cuts even better. It all seals it up. So quick blast with Ralph, well, that is his name. You'll see the magic happen. Ralph done for the night. Like that. Remember not to kick that off. So it's sealed now. It does change colours slightly. But it also opens up the gaps more. Now, here goes the top. Easy part. So with that bit of masking tape you chopped off from earlier. Hopefully I'll be able to film this in one go because it's fiddly. So, with it laying away from you, take the bottom end and give it a gentle squeeze. And then you have to rub it on the top and then bend it when it gets to the gap, so you can get your finger in there, your thumb in there to get some tape into the gap. Then run it on the top, come to the bend it down, get the idea. Doesn't matter if it goes off centre, so the wrinkle helps. Another bend, get your thumb in the crevice, thumb on the top, end of the thumb into the crevice. We'll just repeat the process until it's all done. Now I think I'm probably going to run out of masking tape here, so it's just the same length, but we'll see. We will have the faith. Yeah, we're going to get to the end now, right? Just blimey, very close. And then just squeeze the end down. And give them all a press on the top. So if you wanted to, like I said, you don't have to use the heat gun, but don't use a hairdryer. It doesn't get it hot enough. I'm going to use it in a well ventilated room, because when the foam melts, it'll give off some nice vapours. With me so far? Now, the rest of it, just use your finger to squeeze the tape together at the edges. Already we're starting to get some wrinkles, which looks like material on the sandbags. As you see, it's not straight, so that there's not sandbag walls aren't super straight. Obviously they sag about a bit. Again, this gives quick and simple row of sandbags. There we go. So this part here now, you know, kind of forms where the bags are stitched together on the edge. Again, your super trusty blunt scissors. But it's easy to do this on the back, and for some reason you can see it there. And then we'll trim, just leaving a little bit of the tape where it's stuck together, not the foam, just to create the seam. Again, doesn't have to be super straight, and you can come in and correct it. End off. Same on this end. Oops. Get rid of that. Carry on cutting. Now you can make it as long or as short as you want, depending on what you're doing. Small walls, corner walls, which I'll come to in a minute. Corners we'll just snip off on the angle. And we're nearly done. How long has that taken? Mere minutes. Can't check my time because it's... Now if you look at that, that's still quite a bit too much. So now we see a little bit better. Just go and trim it down a bit more. We don't need too much. Well, that's going to look a bit daft. We don't want things looking daft on our tabletop game, do we? Oh, getting the right way up. Next is where we put the groove. We need to cut through the masking tape just to sell the idea that these are all separate items. So if you've got a sharp blade, it's quite easy just to nick a little triangle out of the tape. Now this masking tape, I think I've had for years, just cheapo stuff, nothing too expensive. Just probably get a reel from your local pound store. Don't want it too good, because it probably would be too good for the job. On the other side, and we're nearly done. Now I tried doing the air drying clay version, which they did look good, but just takes forever to make them, and then you got to have them drying around your house all day. All night. There's nothing wrong with them. This is pretty much instant. There we go. A bit of a rubber now. Come out. Give it a bit of a scrunch up. That is it. It's not rocket science. It's just sometimes simple ideas work. And then once you give them the old agrax, you get the right one of the new version. Yep. Really brings out all the details, the creases in the paper, and especially when you give them a dry brush as well. So that was the original 2 wall. So that would be that. I would suggest it when you glue them together, it would be to like put a weight on them just to keep them squashed together. But you can also make things like that. This is version 2 sandbags, so they don't overly look like they're separated, hence I made the groove bigger. But that's just made from 3 pieces of foam. Obviously just going to work it out, the stagger of the bags when you do that. So that was slightly more difficult, but just cut the foam into a U shape. Get smaller and smaller, and then just repeat the process of that, but on that shape as opposed to the length of. So these are a bit big as well. That's the more in scale with Trench Crusade or any other tabletop game. But say you can scale them up, scale them down. Probably won't be much smaller than that. So dark brown wash, a nice highlight. Because the brown wash will stain the masking tape quite easy, and then just glue them to your Trench Crusade board or any battle board. You can also pin them. You can pin through it as well to hold them in place. So there we go, EVA foam sandbags. Hours of fun, easy to make. Get building. And happy trenching or crusading, whatever you're playing. But there you go. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you after my move. Bye.